Take your time to sit, but please do. Those who will be staying for the seminar, we're not going to speak of suffering all the time. I'm just trying to get the most important message out. Okay? One of the most important messages is what to do with this stuff that you don't know what to do with. Okay? Handling the suffering and the happiness and how to keep it balanced in that. Alright? It's important to know that. And then we're going to have workshops. One workshop will be forgiveness, faith. There'll be a workshop on the 5 elements and how to play with energies. There'll be a class on introduction to telekinesis. Please, my students who've experienced it, raise your hands. Yeah, okay, so we're not all freaks. Just a few. And I could be saying stuff and you can't take my word for it, but you have people pulling their hands up, and I mean, having more than 1% of crazy fart people in the room would be awkward. So maybe they're sane and they really experienced influencing bits of matter with their mind. Why should we keep these secrets in esoteric temples and hidden because some people hold the truth and are better than you are? The Buddha said on his deathbed, I taught everything exoteric and esoteric, secret and public alike, because it would be arrogant from a teacher to keep wisdom from a student that so needs it to resolve suffering. So this thing about esoteric, okay? Esoteric does not mean I keep it secret because I'm better than you. That would be a sense of value, worth, which does not exist. Esoteric means I won't tell you because it's gonna hurt if I do. Okay? So I'm telling you esoteric wisdom now. Go sit in suffering. Then sit in happiness. Okay? That's esoteric. It means that you need to be prepared to hear this kind of thing. Then you need to keep your free mind. You need to go home and decide if you're going to do it or not. You must not be imposed such a thing. Free will, free mind. Don't obey. No. Respect, but don't obey. Other people have no power over you. Free will, free mind. You were born butt naked. Did you bring a sofa home with you? It would have hurt Mom. Okay? So you come empty-handed. It's more efficient considering the alternatives, and costless also. You go out empty-handed. You don't take anything you have with you. So I'm going to give you esoteric wisdom. Death teaches us something. Death teaches you that you have no possessions. It teaches you that you have no relationships. It teaches you that you have no identity. I like to play with Americans, especially when they're proud of being Americans. You're going to die and be born in China to know that you're not American. Free your mind from identity. I currently live somewhere that we have defined with words to make it efficient. Okay, we use words to be efficient in our system. Okay? If you want to be free from the experience of death, that means if you want to die peacefully and not die in years of anguish and suffering, okay? If you want death to be a wonderful experience, you need to learn the teachings of death before it happens. Detach from processions. Detach from the people you love. And get rid of your identity. Do not get rid of your possessions. Detach. It means have fun while they're there, and when they have to go away, don't hang on. Yeah, blue is good. Cut those attachments to material things. Have fun with people, and when they have to go, be efficient in your suffering and let go. I'm mourning right now. I'm going to sit in abandonment for 3 days and it'll be done. I don't want to take 3 years of getting over her or him. You get this? Enjoy the people and let go. Then you have fun while they're there and you're happy when they're gone. Anyway. Because it had nothing to do with their presence. It had to do with I'm happy because I am. And then I enjoy. It's a bonus. Non-attachment is not getting rid of. The only thing you want to get rid of, well, to free yourself from, is your identity. Your identity is made of your geographic attachment. It's made of your preferences. I prefer strawberry and chocolate. Or shit, whatever your culture or something. Bugs. I mean, okay? You need to get to the point where, yes, there are preferences, but you need to be freed from that. I mean, when you can't eat something because it's too gross, that's because there are things you so love and you're attached to them. And because of the happiness you find outside, you get suffering outside. Detached from what you prefer, you won't be bothered by the smell of shit. Okay? If you unattach from what composes your human identity, you will use your identity because it's fun to eat chocolate instead of shit. It's a metaphor, okay? I know all metaphors have their own flaw. Okay, I understand that. But that's a challenge. To let go of what I own. I worked so hard to get this house, it's gonna stay mine until I die. Yes, it is your house. It is the place where you live. And if anyone comes to affect it, you're going to suffer. All you had to do is repair it. Okay? Of course you love your wife, but she doesn't love you. I mean, get over it. It's an example, metaphor. In case you feel concerned, that wasn't intended. This guy came at a party. I was 18, my brother was 19. This guy had a gun. Took the gun, shot my brother. My brother died. That's no metaphor, that's a story. My brother is dead. I go in my room. I sit and I observe. I stand still. Oh mother, it hurts so much, come and take me in your arms. I'm not speaking of my biological mother. I'm waiting for Mother Mary to take me in. Alone I will not make it. Take me within. Take me in you. I love you. It's this suffering. My brother is dead. Goes away. 3 days later, it's the exposition, just before funerals. The killer comes to the funerals. He was under some kind of substance. He just wanted to see for himself what happened. He wanted to, I mean, it had to be a dream. It had to be a dream. It had to be just a joke. No. He had to see the body in the casket and see it's dead. I move away. I allow him passage. My parents move away. He goes in front of the body of my brother, cries a bit. He's still an asshole, but he cries and he's humbly acknowledging what he's done. He's back up. My father, after 2 minutes, says, now it's time for you to go. My father's enlightened. Don't have to take my word for it. It's part of the story. I jump on the guy. I'm not going to kick his ass. I take him in my arms. I hug him strongly. I say, I want you to live your life knowing I forgive you. You need to live your life knowing there is forgiveness. And I say it loud enough for everyone around to know that is compassion. And it is possible. It's not just some story in the Bible or the Quran or some sutra. You can live by this. How could I do that 3 days later? Because I suffered, I mourned, I faced it, it was over, I was in a state of grace. And now I had to care about his suffering. Okay? I'm not telling you you have to do that. I'm telling you that it is possible to experience compassion to the point where nothing can have power over you, even the death of your loved ones. Because there is a way to be beyond that. Breathe. Ask a 2-year-old child to sit still for 15 minutes without moving. Forget it. Ask a 75-year-old person to sit still for 15 minutes. You'll say, only 15 minutes? Why? 15 minutes in 2 years is a different proportion of time than 15 minutes in 75. You understand this? When you awaken spirituality and remember yourself as immortal soul, existing in a reference of eternity in time, your entire lifespan here will be insignificant. The soul that was my brother today is my first child. It wasn't over. It wasn't dramatic. It has to be prevented. You can't allow murders. The guy has to go to jail. He went. Came out of jail, still was an asshole. With more research and development. And I didn't hate him. And I got myself a job in a subway 2 years later. And he comes in the subway. And I say to my boss, I say, I am going to be the guy who makes his submarine. And she says, why? Because he killed my brother. And she said, oh my God, what the hell is he going to do? She can't handle it. And I'm smiling all along. So how's your life now? Did you get a life? Did you better go to school, something? And how do you want? Just giving him a bit of extras and everything. Trying to make the best possible sub for this guy. Because there's no better demonstration of compassion than from someone that you take for granted he should tear your head off. And he has this wonderful extra non-billed sub. Okay? And the people are just, like the boss, just, what? She's waiting. I mean, she's close to the phone waiting to call the police, okay? She doesn't know me. But people hear these stories in the family, in the friends and stuff, and people start to evolve. And then they look at someone that hurt their sister and someone that hurt their wife and husband, and they start to think, what am I going to do with this? Maybe enraged anger as a reaction is not the only alternative. Okay? I tell you this story, first of all, because it's true. You can look it up in the newspapers if you want to spend the time. And it's written in the newspaper that I forgave the guy who killed my brother. Yeah, actually, the interviewer said, you said, what? Can I write this? Please do. Spread the word. Okay? I don't encourage this disastrous behavior. I do not encourage suffering. But do not fight suffering when it is inevitable. Suffering comes, look at it, and do what is your responsibility to resolve it. But not by fighting in denial, in anger, in rage. Just be responsible and make it back into a state of happiness. You will have no choice at one moment to sit, stop, and suffer consciously and breathe for the amount of time that it takes for this suffering to dissolve. Every one of your mourning happened this way. All right? It doesn't mean I needed to be the friend of this killer. Okay? It means to understand it wasn't an offense. It was research and development very well disguised as an offense. If the only reference of perception is your normal human limited reference, you will not be able to conceive going beyond normal human reactions. This is why we learn spiritual techniques and we breathe. We imagine smiles everywhere. We do stuff to awaken the soul, what we are, to start perceiving beyond the senses, and then illusion stops to have power over us. Okay? It's a process. You will have no choice. You'll have to go through it. But you are free. You can go back home and say, I don't care about this, and in 10 years, stuff will impose this suffering on you because that's how life works. You don't want the bad stuff to happen? Take care of the emotional state before it becomes physical experience. Okay? What you are inside is constantly projected in your life. Always works like that. Okay? That's how you manifest. You don't manifest in wishful thinking. Okay? The secret works with those who have no bugs. Okay? But you never heard the 90% of people that just tried it and it never worked. Because there's something more than wishful thinking in manifestation. You need to be able to exist in a state of being that is pure, freed of emotional clogs. Then light comes in, creates whatever you want. That's how it works. That's how you influence movement of matter with your mind. That's how you create someone who was dead to be back alive when everything is possible. I mean, if some body is destroyed, you can try resurrection, it won't work. But when, let's say my son, my 1-year-old son was poisoned by a berry, okay? Like some kind of berry that after 3-4 hours an adult dies of heart attack. So he was at 3 hours, he died. On the moment of death, just called him back to life. Because everything was set in place and the soul still wanted to be there. That's not resurrection, that's just reboot. When the people went to Jesus and said, you resurrected them, he said, no, I woke them up. They were just sleeping. Okay, there's something in resurrection we call pre-mortem liturgia. It's a liturgy before the actual death. When all the cells are still functional, it's just the entire organism as one that doesn't work. Today, the doctors call this reanimation. After 20 minutes, he was dead. Reboot. Okay? Kickstart the car. Push him down the hill. Alright? Okay, we do this with the body. Okay, there's a way to do that. But for that, it's medically proven, it works, sometimes up to 12 hours, sometimes, yes, you have cases in that are very impressive. It happens, okay? It's recorded somewhere. But to do this with your body, with no equipment, to do this just with willpower, you need to be freed. If you're afraid of death, it will remain dead to tell you, look, you're afraid of death. You're attached to this person. You don't want to lose it. You feel abandoned. Okay. So this is why a very intensive process to free yourself so that then you can play in life and have supernatural abilities. Okay? And supernatural abilities are just illusions, okay? They're natural abilities or else they wouldn't exist. Okay? It's just what science did not discover yet. Okay? It's not magic. Or if you wish, magic is what exists in nature that does not yet have a reference in our scientific observation. Okay? That's magic. Okay? Anything that you don't understand is magic, so it does not exist. No, it's not yet there. Stuff is being explained now through quantum physics, which is wonderful. I love quantum physics. It's a nice way to say, well, there are possibilities in there. Breathe. Is it essential to still believe that all these things about existing as a spiritual being should be hidden? by great grandmasters with long beards, bellies, and hidden somewhere in the Wudang mountains of, I mean, it can be accessible right here, right now. You can try 100 books in the New Age world. There still will be something missing. To get the true profound spiritual experience, you need experience. Okay? So flipping pages will bring you a lot of intelligence, knowledge, charts, structure. You'll see something in your intellect. And the soul exists beyond the intellect, so it doesn't really matter what you study, actually. It's fun to understand stuff in the mind, so this is why I explained this to you. But it is only through objective observation, not fantasy, but objective observation, that you will find the experience of the truth. An example of objective observation is the child trying to stay in balance on the bike, and until it falls, doesn't suffer about it, won't find the importance to stay in balance. You remember these kind of things, okay? So I use metaphors to show you it is by looking at life that this wisdom was revealed. I looked at people with self-esteem and they suffered. And I look at people with low self-esteem or absence of esteem or worthlessness, they suffered. Destroy the concept of esteem. There is love. Ah, they're happy. Good. Made sense. Through observation. Not through some divine gift from the heavens that was given to the chosen. And what? The chosen? We're supposed to be one. We're supposed to be in a state of oneness. How can they have it and not we, because they're what, chosen better? Wow. Because they hold the truth? Oh shit. Give it to me. No, I can't. It's a gift from God. No, you can't, because it's an experience. And if I have it, I'll also be chosen? I don't know. Are you part of the club? How much money you have? Oh, he was chosen by God. And that's a poor soul. He has no money. No, it's a poor human. Okay, he has no money. So you'll have to sometimes just look at your life and try to be objective and rethink out of the box. Rethink out of what they told you was the truth. Okay? You will be insecure. You will be afraid of the unknown. Sit in your fear. Go feel it. I'm afraid of the unknown. Sit and feel your fear. You'll get to the point that you feel like falling. That's the good point, that you're really into fear, because there's no way out. You're in it. And then you realize that you're not falling anywhere, you're just falling. And then the feeling of falling goes out. It's just that you have nothing to hang on. And then you're not falling, you're free. You're free. Ah! Unknown means I am free to think what I want, to reobserve what I want, to reevaluate everything, not enslaved in a system. Right? You have a free mind. You need to go back home and not think that you have to obey some kind of master. I'm not your master, I'm a master. What is a master? I master something. Some people are very good at cooking. I cook like shit. I master spiritual evolution. I understand this. That's my field of work. Okay? Don't trust me to pilot a plane. Right? That would be a cause of suffering. All right. That's another metaphor. If you want to learn how to cook, you can learn with a chef that is a master of cooking, or you can learn with grandma. It will work. Eventually you'll make a wonderful pie. Or you want to be a chef, you need to study with a chef. Or do 6,000 years of research and development in cooking. Okay? Chef is just accumulated wisdom on good, appropriate way to do it. So trust the chef and do it in 2-3 years, and good cooking is possible for those who take the time to study with those who have competence to transfer it. If you want to experiment cooking on your own, Forget the chef and forget grandma. You're gonna make something good eventually. Okay? There's no dramatic cause of doing it alone. If you don't want to study with a reliable source of spiritual wisdom, it's not dramatic. You're gonna make it. You don't need a master. It's useful. A master has no power over others. That's bullshit. Okay? That's a charlatan. If a master is going to teach you how to become a master, it means that you cannot be in a state of attachment, such as, you're my disciple. Those here that we use the words my disciple as, because it's useful to refer to them in a certain way, they're not my disciples, they are disciples. Without the concept of relationship and possessivity, okay? Without the attachment. They're in the mindset of getting wisdom. What's the difference between a student and a disciple? A student understands in the head, a disciple will feel experiences and be in love. Not with the master, will be in love. With no definition. Okay? Let's say you want to learn how to fly. Well, that's another situation. If you don't learn from a good pilot, you're going to do one research and development attempt. All right? There are dramatic consequences of trying to fly alone. The proof is a whole bunch of people died in order to build the manual on not dying while trying to fly. Okay? That the pilots now use to teach you. Okay? So doing personal growth has a risk threshold somewhere between cooking and flying. Okay? You won't kill yourself if you do it on your own, but you might hurt yourself pretty bad. But you might also get it. Okay? Because you're free and you're built as a soul to evolve. And it's going to happen naturally anyway. Okay? So the concept of, a sect is when the master is always right, we hold the truth, and we were chosen by God. Okay. If the master is always right, it means that you don't have free will. Okay, that's bullcrap. And the master cannot tell you the truth. Okay, he can stimulate experiences, but you're going to do your own enlightenment. Enlightenment is experienced alone. If we hold the truth, well, that's crap. Okay? If we were chosen, that's completely against the concept of oneness. Okay? There cannot be separation. We're all souls evolving at our own rate and choice and pace. So go for this freedom. This is why I say, if you have money to pay for the seminar, you should pay to allow me to earn a living and pay my fees, or else I'm going to go get a job because I have a family to, and I won't be there to teach you. Okay? So if you can pay, you pay. If you can't pay, you don't. Someone's spiritual evolution must not be limited by one's level of wealth. Okay? Why do I do that? Because I work like if in a temple and not like if in a business. That's how it was done in a temple. If you don't have money, you don't. And if you have to have this respect that allows the temple to work. And now the temple is a room for 2 days, and it'll be somewhere else in the world, and we roam around. There was a time people went to the temple, and now the master goes somewhere. Okay? It's a karma of our country, our culture is to do that. I'm not fighting. Okay? So this is why I always try to find a way to say, Friday is free. You appreciate it, you help me pay my bills and my hotel fee. If you find that you could have learned through a book, please don't give a single buck. You need to go back to your books and experiment if it will bring you enlightenment. Because you are free. You have free will. I am not attached to this wealth. I am not attached to money. When I manifest, I do not manifest more wealth. And I have the power to do so. Quite instantly, some people were astonished. I am not attached. Like the good alchemists that had to turn their back away from wealth so they could learn how to create gold. Okay? If you run after a child, it runs away. Ah! Turn your back, it's going to follow you. Okay? That's how nature works. Turn your back on money and be grateful for everything you have. More money will come. You want to manifest more money? I'm going to give you the technique. Thank you. That's it. Thank you. I'm so happy for all I have. I eat. I have clothing, I have shelter, I'm in a somewhat safe situation. Thank you, I'm so happy to have all this. This is beyond what I really need. You're in gratitude to have more than what you need. More than what you need comes. Because you're in this state of being. Then it doesn't come for some reason, you feel abandoned. Oh, I'll go sit in there and look at it. What am I attached to? It's like this guy wanted a big car. You say, why do you want a big car? Because I'll be impressive. Okay, so you don't want a big car, you want to be impressive. Oh yeah, okay, good, okay. Why do you want to be impressive? Oh, I want to be loved. Okay, so you don't want a big car nor to be impressive. You want to feel loved. Well, you can try it with your big car. After 1 month, it will be just the suffering of managing your new big car. You know? This lady wanted a house. This lady wanted to have more money. Came to the manifestation class. Why do you want more money? I want to buy a house, big house. Oh, so you don't want money. You want a big house. She said, oh, yes, good. You need to know what you really want or else you'll never manifest it. Then I asked her, why do you want a house? Well, I want to raise a family and I want a comfortable area. Okay, so you don't want a big house. You want a comfortable place to raise your family. That's what you want. Okay, focus on that. Maybe it won't be a house. It'll come in the way that nature can provide it to you. If you're too precise on the manifestation you ask, you won't allow nature to modulate your reality. It won't come. What do you really want? I want to raise my family in a comfortable environment. Okay, perfect, good. Focus on that. Just one question. Why do you want a comfortable environment for your family? Or from scratch, why the hell do you want a family? I'm not saying it's bad. I'm asking, does she know why? I want to feel love. Ah! Now you get it. You want to experience love. Focus on that. On the comfortable area with your family. Because I want to love and be loved. Now you got the base experience of the soul. House came. Different way than by winning the lottery. Some dude died and out of a sense of non-attachment gave a house. It worked. Right? So there's so many concepts that are based on human intellectual understanding, and you want the magic. In my mind, over matter, I'll create that. It has nothing to do with mind. It has to do with state of being. It is your soul that is beyond nature. Thus, it is your soul that has supernatural abilities. Not your mind. Your mind is used to synthesize a state of being. So you use your mind to visualize happy faces. State of being is happy. Okay? So there's a mechanic in there to do all that. But you won't get it if you just read and read and read and trust in everything that they say. Until you sit and practice and observe. There is happiness, there is suffering, you need to go through all of it. Then you become agile at synthesizing states of being. And from synthesizing states of being, by focusing on those states of being, they project outside. Because this is what the soul does, this is what the soul always did from scratch. You deny it, your state of being is I don't want to see. You start to lose your eyesight, you have kidney problems, you have feet difficulties, stuff I don't want to see. The abandonment, you start being alone. Your soul just takes what you already are and it is already projecting outside. That's how it works. So you become a master at how to get states of being freed from the blocks and the chains and everything that keeps you in your emotional dungeon. Poor victim. Some people are persecutor, hitting others, or saviors trying to get them out. Doesn't work. You have to do it yourself. No one will save you. No one will ever come and suffer in your place. Well, a few dudes do, but they're crazy. More on that later. Like Jesus said, I came to take the sin of the world on my shoulders. That's not what he said. He said, I came to suffer the experience of others in Aramean in a way that was translated as sin, which is not. It was fishing, okay, at this point. That's why the fish is the Christian symbol. Anyway, there's a big confusion in translation of this. But basically, Jesus didn't say he was going to save anyone. He said he was going to help us carry our cross, okay, through his consciousness. The Buddha said, I came here to alleviate the suffering of the world. Not free your soul, alleviate the suffering. How does he do that? He looks at you. He focuses on you. He concentrates on you when you call him. The Buddha has experience on suffering. You call his attention, he'll look at you. He pays attention to your suffering starts to dissolve. You don't want the Buddha to do it yourself. Pay attention to your suffering, it will dissolve. Consciousness applied to suffering, it dissolves. That's how it works. Okay? You can do it yourself. You can invoke another power. When you invoke another power, you don't know how to do it, or you don't train yourself at bodybuilding and become strong masters at resolving your own issues. So you have to go again. You'll need the lessons, because your soul doesn't mind suffering. It's your human that does. Okay, your human definition, your mind, your heart, your body, doesn't want to suffer. But your soul says, what does that taste? Ugh. What does that taste? Okay, it wants to find that. It's a child. It's going to take a handful of sand and not enough experience. Take another one. Okay? Until it hurts while coming out. Suffering brings wisdom. And wisdom enlightens. Okay? So just use this little speech tonight to trigger your mind, to trigger your observation. How do you observe? How do you perceive reality? How do you perceive what seems to be a cause of suffering and a cause of happiness? And take the time to feel. If you don't feel, you go nowhere. If you're stuck in feeling, you don't go nowhere. You need to master yourself. I'm going to think, I'm going to feel, I'm going to walk. You try stuff. Happy, not happy, suffering. Okay? You got to play with that. That's playing with life. That's playing with existence. Okay? All of that will bring you wisdom. It's not required to remember, to know by heart everything I said tonight. It's not required. What we talked about triggered experiences in you. You felt it, you breathed it, and now it makes sense. If you go back home and never think about spirituality again in your life, you're still one step beyond. Because now, because of this little chat we had, your soul has a new experience that made sense. From now on, each of your suffering will be just a bit easier. Because you've tried it and you say, yeah, denying and pushing away will still just hurt more. I'm going to accept and sink in there. And after a few minutes, well, it's uncomfortable, but it's not that tremendous. It's just uncomfortable information, sensation. It feels not good. So this is what I call comfortable suffering. Willingly go in there. Don't dramatize. Don't support it. Don't stretch it out, hoping to be saved. Look at it and understand it. Oh, I'm attached to something. I'm going to lose it. If I don't detach from it, I'm going to die anyway. It's going to go away. I'm going to have to start over. Okay? Just all that is supposed to make some kind of sense if you took the time to observe it, think about it, feel it. Okay? That's a cornerstone of existence. And you don't even have to believe me. Okay? All you have to do is go back home and think about it. Experiment. Maybe I could realize myself by not feeling anything ever again. Well, try it. We'll see. Some people try it. They blow out. Maybe they attain ascension. They just look like a heart attack. But they come back. So, well, maybe there's something else. Okay? I'm not Buddhist. Buddhism does not exist. Okay? A real Buddhist knows that it is wisdom. It's an experience. I'm not Christian. I'm not Hindu. I studied these wisdom. I got to the point of being ordained a Catholic priest. Dropped it. I left. I went to the point of being ordained a acharya in the Buddhist lineage. Somewhat dropped it, some of it. But then it's useful because it's cool, marketing, Buddhist guy, freak. So it's part of my karma now to handle something. But if someone comes to me and wants to speak of Jesus, well, I'm in love with Jesus. And I'm in love with the Buddha and Krishna and Vishnu. Okay? These are the dudes I studied, so this is what I love. Doesn't mean the Quran is bad. It means I have no competence in the Quran. But there are holy men in Islam. There are, because I've met one. Enlightened. So there has to be some great wisdom in there. And there are freaks who kill each other because they're still doing research. And then there's karma and stuff, and karma is just cause and effect, you know. I mean, 300 years ago, the Christians burned their saints on pillars. It's so easy to bitch when the only reference is our little lifetime. I remember looking at my own daughter burn alive on a pillar 500 years ago. I have these memories. So, I mean, it's just a new experience. Let's try to make it happy, right? Do your best to be happy. And if it's the only thing you do, take the time to be happy for no reason. Smile. Breathe and smile. Close your eyes, everyone. I'm made with happy faces everywhere. So happy. For those who like mantras, you can look here. The word Sukhi in Sanskrit means happy. The word Ananda in Sanskrit means bliss. The word Ram, one of the word Ram, because there are many, is pleasure. Sukhi Ananda Ram means happy, blissful pleasure. Okay, that's the mantra of the happy face technique. Okay, so you can take it in notes. And when you visualize everything as happy, it's so happy, it's overflowing, and the happy faces are all around me, but you have to be overwhelmed inside before you start taking care of the outside. Okay? Just overwhelm yourself with happiness. Sukhanandaram. Sukhanandaram. And you just repeat once every few minutes. Seconds, let's say. Sukhanandaram every 10 seconds. You just meditate. Okay? Sukhanandaram. And breathe. For those who like mantras. Don't like mantras, don't do it. Like mantras, goes faster. Okay? It's a technique, not a law. It's a technique.
No rules.
Yeah, we have no rules. In our Buddhist tradition, we have no rules. We have suggestions, but no rules. And if you don't do the suggestions, we frankly don't care. Because we found something that is blissful. What's in English? Blissful indifference. Okay? Indifference is a blessing for those who are, and a curse for those who aren't. You don't care about me. You got it. I'm so happy. You should try it. Enlighten already. Come on. All right? Blissful indifference is just the state. It's not lack of compassion, and it's certainly not disrespect. Indifference is not allowing outside to affect inside. It doesn't mean I won't take care of. It's not irresponsibility. It's gaining your power back. Taking what you gave outside, putting it inside. It hurt when it first came in. Yes, I allowed him to treat me like shit, and now I feel like a piece of crap. It hurts. Okay, so now I know it hurts, so naturally, regardless of my mindset, because I have acknowledged the suffering of allowing other people to treat me like crap, I will stop being affected when they think they are treating me like crap. It won't matter. If someone gives me a gift, I'm happy. If someone throws shit at me, I'm happy. Has nothing to do with the gift or the crap. I'm happy. And then I enjoy a gift and I try to get rid of the crap. Because I'm not stupid. Enlightened, not stupid. Okay? Breathe. Be happy. I wish you well a good night. Good, happy experience. All right? Those who know where I eat, 7:30. Those who don't, 9 o'clock here. That's the seminar. Rules. No, it's just a suggestion. It's just that if you don't get here by 9, you'll lose a bit. We don't care. All right? Be at peace.
Thank you.